compassion in general is concern with the alleviation of suffering. And this can be aimed inward or outward. So self-compassion is simply compassion turned inward. And compassion can also have a tender, but also a fierce form. So tender self-compassion is the nurturing energy of compassion. It's the ability for us to just be with ourselves and our pain and our difficulty and our imperfection, just as we are. It's a gentle, kind, warm energy that actually allows us to heal from our wounds as we accept ourselves and all our imperfection. But sometimes, in order to alleviate our suffering, we don't actually need self-acceptance. We need to take action, right? Sometimes we need to take action to protect ourselves. Maybe someone's harming us in some way or treating us unfairly or is crossing our boundaries, right? Sometimes self-compassion means saying no. Or at other times, self-compassion actually means saying yes to ourselves, providing for our needs. In other words, instead of always sacrificing ourselves for others, sometimes to be self-compassionate, we have to say, hey, my needs and wants count also. And then finally, motivating change. So if we're engaged in behaviors that are harmful or in situations that are harmful to ourselves or others, then the compassionate thing to do is often to change that behavior, to do something about the situation. So this is the fierce energy of self-compassion, that kind of the power of taking action to alleviate our suffering. So if tender self-compassion is like the energy of a mother toward a crying child, right, a soft, gentle energy, I like to think of fierce self-compassion as the energy of mama bear, right? Fierce mama bear will stand up to protect her cubs or motivate them to do something or provide for them. And all of us have access to both these tender and fierce energies inside of us. Now, it's really important that tenderness and fierceness are balanced and integrated. It's kind of like yin and yang. We need both for wholeness and well-being. And when they're combined, they create a type of caring force that allows us to succeed in the workplace, for instance, or get our needs met at home, or make changes in the world. And the reason we need both is because tenderness without fierceness becomes complacency, but fierceness without tenderness becomes hostile and aggressive. And so that hostility and aggressiveness is not as effective as caring force to make change. One problem with our ability to integrate fierceness and tenderness is gender role socialization. So people who are socialized to be men aren't allowed to be tender, right? Boys are called names if they show too much tenderness. On the other hand, girls aren't allowed to be fierce. They're called different types of names if they're too fierce or God forbid they get angry. And so part of really becoming our true authentic selves is being able to claim both our fierce and tender side, irrespective of gender role socialization. So my new book is called Fierce Self-Compassion: How Women Can Harness Kindness to Speak Up, Claim Their Power, and Thrive. And it's really aimed at women to help women overcome some of the barriers of our history, including the history of patriarchy and gender role socialization, so that we can really claim our fierceness and become fully empowered. And so I've created a lot of new exercises and practices for the book and meditations. And I'm really excited about this work. Even if you're a man, maybe the book isn't written for you, but nonetheless, all the exercises and practices and ideas should be relevant to you as well. So I hope you'll join me on this journey of integrating fierce and tender self-compassion, because it can not only change ourselves, but change our world.